Namaste. Excuse me. Namaste, beloveds. Peace, love, and light. I'm grounding and centering myself for this video because this is a very powerful video. Um, this is something that um, there's no way to explain it. I can only say it, and you accept it or you don't accept it or whatever. That's not on me. I can only give it. Um, I'm about to let. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not. I'm not gonna let nothing. Um, I'm opening myself to the the ancient mother who wants to speak. She has something to say um, that is very relevant and very powerful for this moment in time. And it will either stick with you or it will go over your head and come back to you a later time. Just give me a moment, beloveds, because this is the I am that I am is always present. It is the mind that seeks to shut that down or put a veil over it or put some fear or put something there. And the I am that I am only allows, that self only allows unconditional love, only allows. And so I have to get out of my mind right now. And I thought I had given myself enough preparation time, but it is what it is. And I'm just going to go into it and let it be. And this is not about being possessed or something taking over me or a different aspect of me speaking, or this is me. This is the deepest wisdom of me speaking and reasoning. And like I say, if you can, if your spirit can see that, can hear that, can know that, then needs nothing else needs to be explained because there is no explanation for what is. It only is. There are many storms raging at the moment. Inside the body, inside the mind, inside the emotional heart that stirs up all kind of feelings, inside the mental processes that stirs up all kind of thoughts and desires and puts together, groups together all of these images and these, what surfaces is ancient, beloveds. It's not just of this lifetime. It is what you have suffered, what you have endured, what you have borne, and what you have brought forward into this incarnation. This incarnation is able to handle more because it has more, it has an expanded consciousness that came from you, came from your spirit. Your spirit grew, your spirit incarnated into this flesh and it grew, it expanded. outwards and inwards in multiverses in many different ways and directions and sizes and shapes and spectrums and frequencies. And you need to embrace how vast and how diverse you truly are. Because these times, okay, times, these cycles and seasons that you have arrived in, that have merged to create this moment, these moments of past, present, and future. You need to be consciously aware of who you are, of what you have access to, and you need to know how to wield that. Wield it like a lightsaber. Ah! Like a lightsaber with precision and truth and dedication and confidence, not arrogance. And what is the confidence in or based upon? I am that I am. I am unconditional love. And everything that I do, every step that I take, every breath that I make is in support of that wisdom, that will, that spiritual essence, that spiritual strength, that spiritual knowledge of I am that. Again, the storms. There are cosmic storms going on. If you are in the least bit sensitive, you are aware in your physical body in the forms of aches, in the form of sluggishness, in the forms of some swelling of the joints and stiffness. And this is not just age speaking, baby. It is a sensitivity to what is taking place in your environment, in your atmosphere. It is what you are magnetizing and mixing and blending. What you are creating, what you are calling to you, what you are calling forth, what you are recreating, what you are transforming and transmuting. Through your expanded conscious awareness, the more you are able to observe, the more you are able to observe from a spiritual perspective, non-judgmental. Everything is everything. Existence exists. Allow. Allow. Everything has its time and season. Every gear has a motion and a click, and it has to wait for this to happen, and it has to wait for that to happen before it can mesh and meet and turn and meet the way it's supposed to, just like bodies coming together, mating. Okay? Everything is a replication of that wheels within wheels. There's no way to not say what I'm finna say now. Um, I talked with my daughter yesterday, and she's going through. My daughter kind of struggles with her spiritual self and her spiritual knowledge, as everyone does. And she is learning at almost 40 years of age, 38, I believe, to trust more that inner voice, that intuition and that instinct that that makes no sense to nobody else and makes other people look at her like she's crazy and makes her want to doubt herself, makes her want to shut up. Been there, baby. Been there. 58 years, been there. Nobody can teach you that. You've got to find your way in that. She told me that she woke up with a deep feeling of dread that something was going to happen and that she didn't want to send the babies. I got 6 grandbabies. She didn't want to send the babies to school. And with COVID and everything else, the baby's been missing so much school, honey. So it's within them to catch up. But anyone can see the detriment that is taking place to the children's psychological and emotional being from being so indoctrinated into a pattern of going to school, getting that education, and now having it so disrupted and having the adults around them bugging out over where you should wear a mask or whether you shouldn't wear a mask, whether you should go to school or whether you shouldn't go to school, whether you should get a vaccination or whether you shouldn't get vaccinated. She told her husband that she wanted to keep the children home that day. And she went back to sleep. And the husband, being the loving man that he is, got up, got the babies ready, and took the babies to school. There was a bomb threat. 2 days of bomb threats. Needless to say, they argued over this. Needless to say, my son-in-law is coming from that male logical machismo Hispanic. I'm the man, I made the decision, it is what it is, the babies need to go to school. You bugging. And her perspective is this come from my womb. I carried these babies. I got a bond with each of them that you will never understand. And when I say they don't need to go to school, you need to hear me. Not what's coming out of my mouth, but the spirit that's letting you know something is going on, something ain't right. And me being mama, I'm gonna protect mine. And you need to support that. Even if I'm wrong, even if nothing surfaces, you support that instinct and that intuition because it is ancient, baby. And it is not just of her, it is of her bloodline, it is of her spirit, it is of her celestial collection and connections with existence as existence. She has antennas and ways, blood ways, old ways, that mental logic, baby, can't touch that. So this, like I said, is rising up. And I'm noticing all these inner and outer storms. I got another baby that's like a daughter calling me and, oh, I need to vent. This is going on, that is going on. My auntie is in a, what do you call it? Not a nursing home, but a where you go to recuperate, where you, rehabilitation. There we go. And she's going in and out, going through things. And so all of these things, I'm very sensitive. My sleeping pattern is off. My eating pattern is off. I made a couple of videos about what's going on in the world that's in our face. The Will and Jada Smith saga, the Putin Trump epic saga, the racial tension, the classes and clashes within that, the uprising of civilized notions that are not supported by unconditional love and the ravages that take place because of it. Another thing that's coming forth and forward for me, I'm always about the babies, about the children. And I don't care what color their skin. I don't care about that. I don't care. I don't care what texture their hair is, what color it is. I don't care what color or shape their eyes are. I don't care about none of that. I see spirit. I see conscious awareness existing and needing guidance to exist. I see what I went through and bringing all of this back to this male female dynamic of the divine feminine principle of where we are right now in this Aquarian age, about the water flows, okay, about the water, the womb waters, okay, the world is a womb and it's of waters, many waters, not just the oceans and the rivers and the springs, but the blood and the plasma, the mucus, the saliva, the juice, the sperm, the female ejaculate. the urine. It's about the biological principles of existence, existing from the standpoint of unconditional love, wholeness, holiness, being whole, not being fragmented, splintered, and divided and separated. We got a long way to go before we get there, but we on our way. We on our way. We've been on our way for a while now. But beloveds, here we are on this precipice of the Fool in 2022. Okay? And that precipice is that male logic stepping back and allowing that female intuition and instinct to guide, to navigate, and that logic supporting that. Letting that rest on your shoulders, being man enough to stand there and support that. There are some women that are born to do that. There are others who are learning, who can be taught. And there are others that they ain't gonna get it no matter what. But that's the contrast of the vastness of the frequencies of existence, baby. That's the whole spectrum that you need to fine tune your perception, your vision, your version of you. Can't nobody do it for you. Everything that you observe, everything that you take in, you're going to do it from your perspective, the perspective of your existence. Whether that existence has been positive or negative, whether it is from a place of conscious awareness, subconscious, I don't know, or straight up unconscious, I'm asleep, leave me alone. Revelations are pouring in. They're pouring in. You will hear many calling them downloads. You'll hear many of them, I had a dream. I had a vision. I felt this. I woke up with this. Instinct and intuition is communicating with you. It is primal. It is primordial. Do not look for it to, how can I say this? Be put in a box, okay? Where you can define it and label it and say this, is that, and that's what that is. You can't contain God. You cannot contain conscious awareness in a box, no matter how big, no matter how small, no matter what shape, no matter what color, no matter what cycle or season. Can't put it in a box. For some things, it just is what it is. And that's hard for the rational mind to accept because we are told that things have to do what? They have to make sense. What kind of sense does war make? What kind of sense does greed make? What kind of sense does civilization based upon conquering another civilization for superiority? What kind of sense does that make, beloveds? We have to get past the mind's rationale, the mind's reality, the mind's limited, endless supply of boxes and labels and words. I am that I am. Huh? I am that I am. So you are I am? No. I am that. One minute, beloved. Call from. Okay, that was weird. Private calling. It is what it is. Intuition and instinct, beloved. I am that. I am. You want to put labels on I am woman. I am female. I am a woman of color. I am a big woman. I am a woman with brown eyes. I am a woman with 2 kids. I am a single woman. I have been a mother. I am. Endless. Endless. But you can sum it up in one I am that. What is that? That is everything and nothing. I'm that. And you have to get comfortable with that. You have to get comfortable knowing that and being that. And knowing that in every moment, in every second, you are that. And that the Akashic records of existence exist within your grasp because you are that. There's nothing outside of you because you are everything and nothing. Getting back to my daughter's situation, I was so happy that she called me and expressed to me her truth. I was so happy that I was able to, from unconditional love, to listen to her, to not judge the situation, to not try to fix the situation, to not be mad at Kennedy or the babies or the world or I'm not there or this and that and that and that and this. I shut up and I listened. And I said to her what I wish someone had said to me. Listen to that instinct and intuition, because that is the truth of your reality. That is the truth of your knowing. It's not going to lead you astray. And no matter what circumstance or situation, trust it. This life gives us so much stuff that we can't trust. We get into so many situations, so many relationships. And I'm just not talking about intimate, romantic relationships. I'm talking about every kind of relationship that is. And we have distrust. The distrust is not in the situation or the others, it's the distrust of self. The distrust of yourself to have the ability, have the awareness, have the conscious awareness, have the spiritual ability to handle a situation, to handle the unknown. As soon as I said that, Mama showed me that's the same image and imagery of a woman having her first baby, that baby being given to her and put in her arms, and she's seeing it for the first time. Not knowing if she's going to be a good mother, not knowing if she's going to be able to feed it and clothe it and protect it and guide it, not knowing if that child is going to love her. But knowing that she just brought this life into chaos. This innocent, small, beautiful life force. And its first instinct and intuition is to feed from her. Like I said, there are many things that there are no words to explain. You can sit up here and yakety yak all day long. And you can do it from the most intellectual, articulate place, or you could do it from the most gutter, vulgar of places. Still saying the same thing. But if your spirit is not in it to receive it, it's going to go over your head, baby. You can't receive. You have to receive spirit with spirit. Self-knowledge receives self-knowledge. Doubt receives doubt. What are you reflecting? What are you mirroring? What are you projecting? Know yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts and intuition. Can't nobody teach you how to do that. That's got to come up in you, and you've got to identify it. You've got to become one with that. And that is a journey within itself. Because there are many times that it's not going to make sense in the moment. But later on down the road, as they say, you're going to know. So learn to trust that in the moment. And don't worry what nobody else is going to think of you, or going to say, or going to want to fight you about, or you bugging. I'm bugging. I'm just bugging then. But, you know, this is coming from a place that's higher than me. And I'm sorry that you can't see that. But it is what it is. And then you have to get to your communication skills. That's when you have to sit down, detach from emotion, detach from judgment, detach from being right, and detach from being wrong. And listen, spirit to spirit, heart to heart, unconditional love to unconditional love. And then you make the decisions that need to be made. Come bomb threat, come wildfires, come floods, come hurricanes, tornadoes, come school shooters, come a burglar, come a thief, come a backstabbing friend. Listen to your instincts and your intuition. Follow them. Let them lead you. Let them navigate you. Because that's what's going to get you through. That's your higher self guiding you. It's not based upon somebody else. It's not based on it's you. And you have to know that you got you. That this part of you loves you unconditionally. It loves your stanky drawers. Okay? It loves all your faults. It loves you. It sees you. It hears you. It knows you. And it still wants to guide and lead you. There is, like I said, so much going on. I wanted to touch on one thing because, again, the babies, this for me is leading me to, how can I say it? It's leading me to a knowing. It's leading me to a recurring occurrence and dream and vision or whatever you want to call it. And that is me being woken up out of my sleep by crying babies and a knocking. First comes the knocking. And then comes the sound of thousands upon thousands of babies. Some in serious distress, some in anger, some in just confusion, some in just wanting to be comforted. And yes, baby, a mother knows the difference between all of those kind of cries. That's a communication system of instinct and intuition. Okay? And it never leaves you. And I'm going to tell you, you don't even have to be a mother. If you've been a caretaker, if you was the big sister, or if you was the little sister taking care of, you know these things. You can't explain how you know them. You just know them. When this starts coming up, that means there's a big shift, a big wave happening. And it always takes me back lately, now that I'm consciously aware of when this has started coming up and noticing the patterns of what's going on in the world, to flood times with Noah. And knowing he was on that ark, hearing all those screams and being unable to help. And how unconditional love and the understanding of it expanded his own conscious awareness. Okay? So, I'm going to put it like this. My daughter's simulation story for her to know herself spiritually, for her to unconditionally love herself is playing out, is manifesting in whatever way it needs to for her to meet herself, for her to know herself, for her to give birth to herself. I can't do it for her. My mother couldn't do it for me. But I am not alone because the ancient energies are here. They speak, they guide, they show many different things. If you observe, if you listen, if you get out of your mind, because your mind will always come up with a story. Your mind will always come up with a reason. Your mind will always say, well, this is a mystery and this is hidden. And if we only look further, or if we only go here, or if we only go there, that's the labyrinth. That's that place and space that is endless. And yes, you've got to go there. But you've got to know that it is your instinct and your intuition that leads you up out of it, not your mind. And so, like I was saying, I'm going to put it in these terms because this is what Spirit gave me, how to look at it and how to deal with it from my own spiritual perspective. Because, of course, y'all need to move back here. You need to do it. I can't save you. And Spirit is like, this is her simulation. And everything that she does or does not do is going to help her in this lifetime and the next lifetime. This is her process. This is how she expands her conscious awareness. Lovingly guide her, lovingly see her, lovingly listen to her, and all that she has co-created and produced. And be there for all of it. Be there for the children. Be there for Kennedy. Be there in love, not judgment, not needing to fix something, not needing to tell her how to do something. No. And you, baby, for me to be able to sit here and even speak on this in such a manner, wisdom works with you when you allow. When you get out the way, when you get that mind out of the way, when you see existence in everything unfolding, seeding itself, reproducing itself, handling itself, lifting itself up, being born, dying, and being reborn again, you start to understand what wisdom is. And you start to understand and love in a way that's unconditional. And yes, things will still trigger you, but you have to take a step back and say, I'm triggered. Okay, but that's the old me. And I'm not stuck in those ways anymore. Spirit's got this. Let me send love. Let me send light. Let me send my presence, my ancestral presence, my spiritual presence into this situation to her. and let her use it to craft whatever she needs to craft, to mend whatever she needs to mend, to weave whatever she needs to weave, how she needs to weave it. And this is the way we have got to start looking not only at our children, but at our relationships, period. Our relationships with each other from a collective, spiritual collective frequency and spectrum. And that involves our politics and politicians. That involves that unconditional love doesn't just stop with you. It radiates into everything. And everything must radiate that back to you. So, can no lie radiate and reflect the truth to you? War cannot radiate and reflect love and self-love to you. Abuse can no longer just, you turn your head from it. I don't see it. Or I have to be quiet about that. Or that's not my business. Everything is showing you it is your business. Existence exists. There's nothing in existence that is not a part of you. Does not try to guide you and serve you in some manner, some fashion, some form, some spectrum, some frequency or vibration. But you have to be free of your mind enough to receive it. Your mind cannot be in the driver's seat. Your mind cannot be your identification. Who are you? I am so and so and so and so and so and so, and I am this and I am that, and my mind says I am this, and this is what I learned since I was little, and this is what I am, and I fit in this stereotype, and I'm in this box right here, and I'm a tourist. Did I tell you that? Stop limiting yourself. What are you that you are not allowing yourself to be? What are you afraid of? And I say that as I contemplate that within my own being, from my own surroundings, from my own imperfect perfection, that I am learning to accept daily, moment by moment. You're not only going to be the hero in your story, you're also going to be the villain. You're also going to be the savior. You're also going to be the martyr. You're also going to be the judge and the jury. But be what you need to be from the foundation of unconditional love. And for those that want to separate, there's enough going on. You don't have to, some things you don't have to participate in. Some things you don't have to correct. Just let it be. It'll work itself out. Allow it to work itself out. Divinity, God, higher consciousness created it to work itself out. It is working itself out in front of you, whether it looks chaotic or peaceful and calm, or both, or none of that. It is working itself out. So, beloveds, this, like I said, we're going to, as the elders say, when one door closes, another door opens. As one door closes, another opens. So understand that the things that you are seemingly losing, whether it's losing control of or you're having to let go, understand that that is necessary in order for you to receive more of what you truly need. And you alone communicate with the universe what you need. The universe listens. But you've got to be in the right conscious state of awareness. Because if you sit here and say, I want to be rich, I want to be sexy, I want to be popular, and your view of those things plays out from some story that you've seen or some movie or some book you've read or something that you witnessed, and you just see the tip of it, but you don't see the rest. All you're going to get is the tip of it. All you're going to get is the surface. And that surface is never going to satisfy you because you're not seeing the whole picture. Sit back, learn to observe from a place of maturity. The past couple of videos, the Horus Eye of Perception, I think it was, card that came up in the Ten of Pipes, really pointed to open doors, beloveds. Allow things to open doors for you. Allow them to be their own vortex of saying, come here and look at it from this point of view. Look at it from this angle. Use your intuition and instincts and not just your mind and what you've been taught to see. Close your eyes. Close your physical eyes. What do you feel? Do you feel that this is good and trustworthy? Or is there still doubt and something there that you don't trust? And you can't put your finger on it to say, well, it's this or that or this. You just know that it's something. Trust that. Let it be enough. When the situation, the circumstance, the person, the events change or shift, you'll know. If that is to be an interaction or part of your simulation of you becoming totally aware of what unconditional love is, it will happen. It will play itself out. If not in this moment, then the next. Allow. Understand that the mind controls nothing but how many thoughts it can think up, how many images, how many repeats, how many situations. And then your mind starts to go and stuff, you start recreating different stuff and weaving different stuff together, or you've matured and you no longer see it from the angle of being hurt, or the angle of it's all about you and it was so personal. You start, well, okay, that was about them. Hmm. And I just took it this way because that's what my past was all about. Or we trauma bonded, and that's the bus we got on. Holding hands, skipping, sitting in the tree kissing, KISSING, through trauma, not unconditional love. The simulation of learning, being, knowing, doing, expanding your conscious awareness. You are not done expanding your conscious awareness until you are no longer breathing in this form. And many will tell you your physical conscious awareness stops, but your spiritual conscious awareness, beloveds, it's eternal, it's immortal, and that is the truth of who you are. So don't let situations and circumstances that happen to test you in your simulation knock you off your, I don't want to say game, knock you off of your stance, your square of existence. Because you've got to be aware. And in saying that, I don't know why this just popped in my head, but I saw the checkerboard, black and white checkerboard floor. I saw the word masons, my sons. And I saw free my sons, masons, and just regular masons. And I'm not affiliated. I've read several things, and I here and there and there and there, kind of been influenced by the science and symbiology because it is woven and ancient and found in everything. But it's also interpreted with its own agenda. So, beloved, like I said, standing on your square, seeing that as a chessboard, moving, knowing once again that the queen is the multitask player piece on the board that has the most moves. Those moves are instinct and intuition. The rest of the pieces, they're very set in their ways of how they can move. It doesn't change. It can be from a different angle, but it doesn't change. Allow the queen on your board to represent your instincts and intuition. Safeguard her. She's valuable, very valuable. Do not demean her or her position or her place on the board. Learn to work with her. And learn to let her do her thing. when it comes time for her to do her thing. Don't hinder her. Support her, even if it don't make no sense to you. Like I said, this is coming, and it seems very personal, but when I step back, I see it in so much. And I want to bring this forth because I feel the need to, beloveds. And that is the dynamics of those entities, beings, minds, spirits that want to, that need to prey upon children. I want you to understand that that is the most cunning of entities. And I want you to understand why it chooses children to corrupt with its mentality. I want you to look at the different institutions, educational systems that come up with children, be it the churches, the religious, the spiritual teachings, the spiritual ways, putting that on the child, be it the educational, putting that on the child from the perspective of this is your history and that is not. And these people did this because they were superior. And then we have now coming up, well, you can't make these children ashamed of what they did to your ancestors. Who cares about what you feel or you think, but you can't make these children feel ashamed at what their ancestors did to your ancestors. That's just wrong. We're not going to have that. But yet, all this time, you've allowed the opposite to be taught. The fact that you are superior, the world is yours, and you never had a problem with the other children. Where do I fit into that? You never had a problem of how the story was told, as long as it puts you in a brighter light, in a superior light, as the winner, as the hero, as the conqueror, as the one that civilizes. But when you want to show the truth of how that civilizing took place, that you had to commit genocide, that you had to take the children away, take all of their self-knowledge away from them, take their language away from them, take their religion away from them, take their belief systems away from them, and teach them yours. There, the attack on the children is monumental. The fact that you put the duty of inheritance upon a child. You don't allow that child to be a child. You can't be a child. You're not a regular child. You have to endure this. You have to endure that. You have to raise your family out of poverty, so you have to perform this. Excuse me. You've got to be a star athlete. You've got to be a star. You've got to sing and dance so you can buy your mama a house, so you can make us better, so we can have and not be with the have-nots anymore. So if you got to go out there and sell your soul, you go ahead. You get it done. You take one for the team. You spread it. You get on your knees. You bend over. You do what you need to do. Quit being selfish. This ain't about just you. I want you to look at these things in our society. I want you to look at the Bill Cosbys and the R. Kellys and the Aaliyahs and the Jeffrey Epsteins. And I want you to understand what the Disney Channel and all the predators there and all of that is about, and how we overlook it and we call it what? Conspiracy theories. And yet we support their channels, we buy their stuff, and yet we know of all of this casting couches and what these babies go through. And we see them when they turn out as adults. I remember Todd Bridges, Michael Jackson, Prince, Aaliyah. How many times was Aaliyah passed in circles of men, older predators, because they weren't men, they were predators. When you have a Jada Pinkett, when you have an Ashton Kutcher, when you have them coming forth and accusing a Harvey Weinstein, you have them going in different countries and stopping trafficking. And you go from city to city and you see these young girls on these streets. Hey, Joe, you want to give it a go? And not just girls anymore, little boys. Little boys, too. And they don't care, man, woman, dog, whatever I got to eat. And I'm going to be a beast at what I do. Because this is the mentality. The mentality, the mental illness that is allowed, that surfaces and exists through the churches for how many thousands of years? The Greeks, the Romans, the Africans, the Arabians, the Indians, the Asians, and every other race of man. The children. Those children who are stripped raped of their innocence, of just being a child, and having to accommodate grown men and women sexually lusting for their flesh, their sweet, delicate, little, innocent flesh, and turning them into sexual little deviants and passing them along and making them glittery and shiny and rewarding them and saying that if you want more of this glittery, shiny stuff, then you better keep bending over, getting on your knees and spreading them. And when you done got to the point where you're no longer popular, then you bring in others, then you become a recruiter. You have entourages that bring in new recruits. This is a very diseased world that we live in. Like I say, when you have predators who threaten children with bombs, when you have predators that send bomb threats to colleges, because you're not getting your quota of child flesh, because somewhere in the matrix a glitch has happened and something has changed, and people are consciously waking up and becoming more aware of the monsters that exist within the power and principalities, and that are raised upon pedestals, but yet they have sepulchres of skeletons, dead bodies, many of them infant and children. The simulation needs you to step up. The simulation needs you to step up. It needs you to guide, needs you to lead, needs you to see things, to listen, to know, to fine-tune your instincts and intuition, not your mental awareness, or what's the word? Whatever, your mental gymnastics. Get off of that. Get your instinct and your intuition going. Become one with it. Get so good that you see it before you say it. Get so good that you say it and see it in your mind, and then you open your eyes and you watch it play out in front of you, and you know it's you. instead of you being controlled by everything. The storms, yes, they influence you, but they should never deter you from being you. All right, beloveds, that is going to do it. Just in the spirit of the way things have been going, let me grab a card. Just give me 1 minute and I'll be right back. Okay, I got the Esther Hicks. I always say getting out of the vortex, but it's getting into the vortex. And I chose this deck, Spirit Led, simply too because it's very simple. It's very simple. It's a very simple deck, and everything is right there where you need it. The law of attraction assembles happy relationships. 53, which is an 8. 8 is the goddess number. Here we go. That is a deeply beautiful card. Deeply beautiful card. The law of attraction assembles happy relationships. There are 4 beings that can be seen on this card. That is so powerful. I'm going to look at the noses. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 noses on this one head. The eyes, they're beings inside beings, wheels within wheels. The law of attraction cannot bring you a well-balanced, happy person if you are not yourself already that. The law of attraction, no matter what you do or say, will bring to you those who predominantly match the person who you predominantly are. If you are not happy with yourself or with your life, the attraction of a partner will only exaggerate the discord because any action taken from a place of lack is always counterproductive. If you are not happy with yourself or with your life, the attraction of a partner will only exaggerate the discord because any action taken from a place of lack is counterproductive. So I want to break that down a little bit, beloveds. A place of lack, fragmented, broken, shattered, splintered, the opposite of whole. If you are trying to connect with someone no matter what the issue is, no matter what the circumstance is, from a broken place, a shattered place, an unfinished and unfulfilled place, you cannot get wholeness. You cannot attract wholeness. Everything that you do is going to be counterproductive to that which you are seeking because you are shattered, you are fragmented, you are unhealed, you are wounded. You are not whole within yourself and with your self knowing and existence and being. Physician, heal thyself comes to mind. I look at this and I look at the planets on it. I see Saturn very clearly. I'm looking at this one with the sun bursting from it as Mars, and then the other one. Okay, this is Saturn right here. That's Saturn. Then you have what I'm feeling is Mars right here. And then you have the Earth sitting up here in the crown. Mars looking and projecting light. Mars or the Sun? That's interesting. Mars or the Sun, or merging of the two. That's very deep. The law of attraction cannot bring you a well balanced, happy person if you are not yourself already that. Physician, heal thyself. That goes back to that checkerboard square. Your moves depend upon your wholeness. Your being able to stand on your square. If you're broken, you can't stand there. You cannot defend, you cannot support, you cannot guide. You can only guide from the perspective where you are. No one is perfect. So if someone is expecting perfection, then they're missing the whole point. Imperfection, the shatteredness, the brokenness, the fractures. It's the contrast that you need. Once you are able to truly, what's the word? Once you're able to fine tune to get the fragmented, fractured, shattered piece, you can see where it goes in the other places. You can see where to put it. You know what to attract to bring it into wholeness, into alignment. You listen, you learn, you see where the jaggedness is, where the smoothness is, where it can fit in, how it can be mended, how it can be healed. No matter what you do or say, will bring to you those who predominantly match the person who you predominantly are. So you're going to attract the person, those who predominantly match the person who you predominantly are. So you have to decide who you predominantly are. You have to know who you predominantly are. Just like me sitting here and say, well, I'm spirit. I am that I am. Okay. Is that what you're attracting to you? I'm not really trying to attract anything. I'm still in this, getting this. And the situations that are coming are showing me that, yeah, you know, you're attracting these situations, and even if they're coming to you seemingly all splintered and broken, you're saying, hold up, that's your simulation, and you need to get it fixed, and you need to look at it from your instincts and your intuition. That's right where I am. I'm learning to see things from my instincts and my intuition and trusting that. So yeah, that's what I'm attracting to me. Those situations. What does your instincts and intuition tell you about what's going on in Ukraine? What does your instincts and intuition tell you about those that take advantage of children, of bullies? What does it tell you? What do you need to do? How can you help in that situation? From a place of unconditional love for the collective, not just from your own sense of judgment. '53, 8, all into one. The law of attraction assembles happy relationship, assembles, builds, puts together, brings together. The law of attraction builds happy relationship. So give yourself the materia and the material ingredients that you need to build what you're truly seeking and not the opposite of it, because that's counterproductive. If you want to build a brick house, stop accumulating straw and trying to, well, the straw, you can turn straw into bricks, and all you got to do is make it, and it's straw. You need the bricks. You don't need the straw. Attract what you need, beloveds, by knowing what you need, by being truthful with yourself, brutally, raw, honestly truthful with yourself in all that you do, in all that you say, in all that you speak, outside of your thoughts and desires. Because, beloveds, your thoughts and desires most times are very random, ever changing, like the weather. You think it's gonna be sunny, you step out and it's raining bricks. All because something what? Changed your mind. What cannot change is spirit. Spirit is spirit. Don't try to change spirit into something your mind has fashioned a box for. Spirit can be contained, will not be contained. That's the mousetrap. Why that needs to be said, I don't know. But okay, beloveds, that's enough. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is, oh, there's that Saturn again. And there's that Earth. And look at those, I'm told to say, concentrated circles in 3 coming from the eye here. There's so much on this card. This card says nothing ever goes wrong because every piece of contrast, no matter how wrong it seems to be, is always helping you to clarify what it is you do want. And that is the thing that we want you to remember most of all. The contrast, no matter how it looks in any moment, is contributing mightily to your expansion. The things that you call things going wrong in your life experience are actually only the distance between the things that are so right and your current perspective about them. like I said with my daughter, I told her that whole situation is for your benefit. So you know who you are. So that you learn to trust your instincts and your intuition. And it's coming up now because that is going to be something you're going to need. And I also told her, teach this to your children. Teach them to honor and to be able to identify and know what is instinctual and intuitive within them versus just mental thoughts. There is a difference. There's the energy signature is different. Just like the storm thing. I haven't gotten it yet, but when I do this video, it's storming outside. Okay. And I have been being told, and I don't know how many times and ways, to get the chair off of the deck, off of the balcony. Okay. And I'm like, well, that chair ain't going nowhere. The winds are blowing, but and it's study right there, study right there. Get the chair off of the deck. Get the chair off of the deck. Didn't you receive a notice that they were going to paint the deck? And no, that was 2 years ago. Didn't it? Something keeps coming up about this chair. And then I saw the chair being blown and shattering somebody else's window or patio. And I'm like, let me get this chair. Let me get up and get this chair. And so I'm finna get this chair because that's instinct and intuition. And that's your saving grace. And so, beloveds, everything is what it is, you know? And this is a beautiful simulation that we give birth to in our realities and knowing that we are co creators. We are continually creating situations for us to unconditionally love ourselves and know ourselves. And no matter how long that process takes, no matter what we encounter along the way, this is the fruit of it. Loving yourself is the fruit of it. Knowing and trusting yourself is the fruit of it. And adore your imperfections. Don't only look at them as flaws or something wrong with you. They are there as contrast. They are contrasting and highlighting something so very specific. And when you figure that out, and when you no longer need that contrast, it will fade into blackness. And you will notice something else. Existence exists. Allow existence to exist without judgment, knowing that the contrast is needed, knowing that this is your simulation, and that even if you die, reincarnation, you come back again with a deeper, higher, more expanded conscious awareness to attain and receive the prize that is your unconditional love for yourself on a higher level. Okay, namaste, beloveds. I love you so, and that's going to do it for me.